Shawn Michaels is one of the best wrestlers ever. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. So in this series of WWE 2K potential showcase concepts, I figured why not go back to my favorite wrestler ever's career and try to pinpoint specific matches to include within a Shawn Michaels showcase that we for some reason haven't gotten just yet. Now I have 18 concrete matches with potential moments in between these matches and honorable mentions that I just think there's maybe one or two things that keep me from putting it into the showcase, but they're iconic enough to mention. I will also mention ahead of time to cover as much as I can that I did not include too much of Shawn Michaels' second career. It mainly goes to 98, but I did make sure to include some major matches following the renaissance of Shawn Michaels in 2002 to 2010. So we have 4 big matches from that era at the end of the showcase. However, we have 15 concrete matches and moments from the earlier career of Shawn Michaels, from the early 90s to the time that he was forced to step away from the ring. And we start things off at Saturday night's main event on April 28th, 1990, The Rockers versus the Hart Foundation. I don't know the status of Marty Jannetty within the world of the WWE, but it is almost impossible to do a Shawn Michaels showcase and not include some stuff with Marty Jannetty. If you do take out everything with the Rockers and the feud with Marty, that takes out maybe the first chunk of the showcase, and I don't think it makes the showcase worse, but I do think these matches are very important to include with the early career of Shawn Michaels. So with this Saturday night's main event match, it ends in a double disqualification, and we unlock Shawn Michaels 1990, Marty Jannetty 1990, Bret Hart 1990, and Jim Neidhart 1990, as well as the early Saturday night's main event arena. We get into match 2 with the first WrestleMania win from Mr. WrestleMania at WrestleMania 7 as the Rockers take on the Heenan family. Shawn Michaels 91, Marty Jannetty 91, the Barbarian making his series debut, Haku making his return from 2K25, Bobby the Brain Heenan as a manager in the WrestleMania 7 arena will be your unlockables with this matchup. We then jump to a pivotal moment in the career of Shawn Michaels, and the main reason I think Marty Jannetty is a necessity to include within this showcase. At WWF's Wrestling Challenge on January 12th, 1992, Shawn Michaels turns on Marty Jannetty. The way I see this playing out is you get the promo as a cutscene, then you get the moves as a kind of regular match, and then you get a cutscene to end things out, and you make sure you include this pivotal moment, not through a video package, but through some sort of cinematic, like the WrestleMania 40 opening from the 2K25 showcase. That's kind of what I envision. And you unlock the casual attires of Shawn Michaels 92, Marty Jannetty 92, and Brutus Beefcake 92, who will also have to have a wrestling attire in there, surely, as he returns to the series within this concept. And you will also unlock a barbershop backstage area. I think that would be really cool. So that is my vision for this key moment in Shawn Michaels' career. But we move on to WrestleMania 8 as Shawn Michaels gets his first singles win at WrestleMania, taking on El Matador, aka Tito Santana, who just made his debut to the 2K series in the DLC for 2K25. So at WrestleMania 8 with this match, you will unlock Shawn Michaels 92, Tito Santana, and Sherry from 1992 with her WrestleMania 8 look in the WrestleMania 8 arena on the side. But just about 2 weeks after this, we got a dream match as Shawn Michaels would challenge for the WWF Championship against Macho Man Randy Savage at WWF UK Rampage in 1992. This is a solid match between the two that typically flies under the radar, and you will unlock Shawn Michaels 92's UK Rampage attire, as well as Macho Man Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth, Sherry from this UK Rampage event, the WWF Championship in the UK Rampage arena, which kind of looks generic and basic. I don't know what kind of event it was, but you will unlock that as well. And we stay with 1992 at Survivor Series as Shawn Michaels challenges for the WWF Championship yet again, though he is now the reigning Intercontinental Champion, so you will unlock Shawn Michaels 92 in the Survivor Series gear, the Intercontinental title with the black strap in the Survivor Series 1992 arena, as well as his opponent, Bret the Hitman Hart from 1992. Now, I might be showing my age here. I'm 19 years old. I never knew this match existed. I know the iconic Shawn Michaels versus Bret matches that we will get into later in the showcase, but I didn't know this existed. I watched it just the day before filming this video. I thought it was a great match, and I think it would be a neat touch to include this match in the showcase. I think Bret Hart makes the most appearances, not including Marty and Shawn within the showcase, so I do think it would be very nice to get some more Bret Hart attires within the showcase. But speaking of Marty, we move on to May 17th, 1993's WWF Raw. Shawn Michaels defends the Intercontinental Championship against Marty Jannetty, and Marty Jannetty wins this match. There were two big wins with Shawn Michaels getting the victory over Marty Jannetty from a later Raw and at Royal Rumble 1993, but I think this is the most iconic match between the two, so I figured I would include this one instead. The winner of the match doesn't particularly matter because this is just the history. You can cover everything else within these video packages, so you will unlock Shawn Michaels 93, Marty Jannetty 93, the Intercontinental Championship with the white strap in the Raw 1993 arena. And I mentioned how I'd never seen Shawn versus Bret from Survivor Series 1992. I also hadn't seen this match, but I thought this was just too good of a match to not include, with some great attires that you can unlock throughout this. And that is from October 1994's WWF Action Zone, as two dudes with attitudes, Shawn Michaels and Diesel, defend the World Tag Team Championships against Razor Ramon and 1-2-3 Kid. If you've never seen this match, go watch it. I think this should be included in any sort of showcase between Shawn Michaels, not only because I think it would be cool to get some of these gears in this arena into the game, but because this features 4 members of the iconic Clique. So you will unlock Shawn Michaels 94, Diesel 94, Razor Ramon 94 in his red gear, which would be very cool to include, as well as 1-2-3 Kid, who for some reason hasn't been in any of these games yet. We've gotten X-Pac, we've gotten Six, we haven't gotten 1-2-3 Kid, and finally the World Tag Team Championships from 1994 in the Action Zone arena. But we stick with some Clique action in Match 8 as we get to SummerSlam 1995 for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. We got the WrestleMania 10 ladder match in the 2K24 showcase, so we're going to run things back with their rematch as Shawn Michaels in 1995 takes on Razor Ramon. You will unlock the Shawn Michaels 95 blue gear that I absolutely love, as well as Razor Ramon 95 in the SummerSlam 1995 arena. For Match 9, maybe the most iconic moment in Shawn Michaels' illustrious career, he wins the WWF Championship in a 60-minute Iron Man match's sudden death overtime from the one and only Bret the Hitman Hart. So following this WrestleMania 12 clash, you will unlock Shawn Michaels 96 in his WrestleMania 12 gear. Maybe with the zipline entrance in the game. That might be a lot to ask, but I think that would be really cool. As well as Bret Hart from 1996, Jose Lothario, who I'm not too familiar with. I haven't seen enough of this era of Shawn to be too familiar with him. As well as Gorilla Monsoon, who we haven't seen in a game. I don't know if there's an issue with that or if we just haven't seen him for no reason. And then the WrestleMania 12 arena. In Match 10, Shawn Michaels continues that WWF Championship reign, and he's defending the title against his good friend but better enemy at In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies 1996, as he takes on Diesel in a no-holds-barred match. You will unlock Shawn Michaels 96 in this attire, as well as Diesel 96 in the In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies arena. We stick with this big year for Shawn Michaels as we get to SummerSlam 1996, and he will defend his WWF Championship against Vader, as again we get to someone who I'm not sure if they can be included, but Jim Cornette will be an unlockable manager within this fantasy matchup. I don't know his status for the WWE. I know he's pretty controversial, but maybe he could be an unlockable through this, as well as Vader, the Shawn Michaels SummerSlam attire in the SummerSlam 1996 arena. As we get on to 1997, we start things at King of the Ring 1997 with Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a double disqualification finish. In the end, you will unlock Shawn Michaels 97 from King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin 97 in the King of the Ring 97 arena. Before we go to WWF One Night Only from Birmingham, England in 1997. Shawn Michaels taking on British Bulldog for the European Championship, and Shawn Michaels is successful in winning that title in British Bulldog's home turf. You unlock Shawn's One Night Only attire, the British Bulldog 97, the WWF European Championship, the Triple H 97 attire that he wears here at One Night Only, which is kind of a casual gear, as well as Chyna 97 in her casual gear, and Rick Rude 97 in his managerial role. But to close out 1997, one of the most iconic matches in either man's career, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match to determine the number one contender for the WWF Championship. You will unlock Shawn Michaels 97 from Bad Blood, The Undertaker 97, Triple H 97 from Bad Blood, Chyna 97 from Bad Blood, Kane 97, Paul Bearer 97, and the Bad Blood in Your House arena. Now, I know a lot of people probably rolled their eyes when I said that was the last match in 1997, but that is because the next match will be simply an honorable mention, the Montreal Screwjob, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart from Survivor Series 1997. I'm honorably mentioning it because I don't know exactly how possible it is, but it does feel like such an important match that you can't just completely omit it. But obviously, the finish of this match is via Vince McMahon, who I feel won't be covered in any of these showcases going forward, at least not in an in-game role, which the finishes of these showcase matches are typically in-game cutscenes, so you would have to do a lot of workarounds to get this match in. So I do just want to mention it because I know a lot of people will get pissed if I don't, but I don't have it in my match list. And another match that I don't have in my match list because of one specific reason is WrestleMania 14, Shawn Michaels' final match before stepping away from the ring. And I have this again as an honorable mention because Mike Tyson's involved. We already saw this match in 2K16, and we got a random enforcer guy. So if you can include Mike Tyson in 2K26 or whatever game this showcase hypothetically takes place in, definitely include this match. But if you can't get Mike Tyson, I don't want to see the enforcer again. So I just have it as an honorable mention here because I don't know how likely Mike Tyson is to get into a 2K26 or any wrestling game going forward. However, he was included in WWE 13, so it is possible, but I wouldn't include this unless you can tie down Mike Tyson. And then we're on to the Renaissance of Shawn Michaels, and we start with SummerSlam 2002 and his match against Triple H. This is an unsanctioned match. You will unlock Shawn Michaels 02's Street attire, Triple H 02, and the SummerSlam 02 arena. This is an iconic match, and I feel it is necessary to include despite its previous inclusion in the 2K15 Shawn Michaels versus Triple H showcase. Another pairing that we've already seen within a showcase is Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels, but we saw their WrestleMania 21 match in the 2K24 showcase, so I'll pivot a little bit and go for Vengeance 2005 as Shawn Michaels gets the victory here. You will unlock Shawn Michaels 05, Kurt Angle 05 in the Vengeance 2005 arena. I feel like this is just such an important rivalry with such good matches that you can't just cut it, so I think you need to include one of these matches, even if the WrestleMania 21 match, that is my favorite match of all time, isn't possible to be included within another one of these showcases. For match 17, we go on to WrestleMania 23, and there is a reason that I included this match over another match between the two. I'll get into that in just a second, but here you will unlock Shawn Michaels 07, John Cena 07 in the WWE Championship, the spinner title, as well as the WrestleMania 23 arena. Now, I do think, like a lot of people, that the Raw match that they had is a lot better. However, I just realized as I got to the end of this showcase that I don't have enough WrestleMania matches for Mr. WrestleMania, so I figured I would just include their WrestleMania match. Even though Shawn Michaels lost this one and won their later match, I do think it is possible to include either or just say screw it and do both. But I do have their WrestleMania 23 match as the match in this showcase. And then we will jump 3 years ahead to career versus streak. WrestleMania 26, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in a match pitting Shawn Michaels' career against The Undertaker's streak. And in the end, The Undertaker is victorious. Your unlockables here are Shawn Michaels 2010, The Undertaker 2010 in the WrestleMania 26 arena, and that is how you close out the Shawn Michaels showcase. Now, I don't have any specific bonus match, but you could just include another match from Shawn Michaels' career, maybe a dream match against the likes of AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, some of these modern names that are stylistically fairly similar to Shawn Michaels, but I don't have any specific bonus match for this showcase. I do think the one thing I did wrong with this showcase, like I said, WrestleMania matches. matches. I'm sure I could have included a lot more, but there are WrestleMania matches against the likes of Chris Jericho, Ric Flair. Those are such iconic matches, but I don't think you're seeing Chris Jericho or Ric Flair in WWE 2K26. So before we close things out, some honorable mentions. Like I said, WrestleMania 14 versus Austin, the Montreal Screwjob at Survivor Series 97, Raw versus Cena, Flair at WrestleMania 24, Jericho in all of those iconic matches, including the WrestleMania 19 match, Mankind, because I think he's at high risk of being cut from 2K26 at Mind Games, and finally, some very underrated feud matches of Shawn Michaels' career against Randy Orton. So let me know how you think I did with this Shawn Michaels showcase. Let me know if you think I did it justice, and let me know what matches you would include that I didn't, or if there were any matches that you would have replaced in my showcase because you just don't think they're good enough, don't think they're important enough, or there's too many matches. I don't think too many matches is ever a complaint. But if you have any issues with this showcase, let me know down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more stuff like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.